Good afternoon. Je vais parler en anglais tout simplement parce que je suis avec des collègues de l'international et je voudrais qu'elles comprennent ce que je dis. Donc j'espère que c'est bon pour vous. My name is Tatiana HEINZ. I am the Global Partnerships Officer at Pro Bono Lab, which is a French organization. And today I would like to speak to you about a topic that concerns us all. So my organization's mission, Pro Bono Lab's mission, is to help to support non-profit organizations and social entrepreneurs thanks to Pro Bono. In English, Pro Bono is also called skills-based volunteering, and in French we call it bénévolat de compétences or mécénat de compétences. So we are now 7 years old, Pro Bono Lab, and if there's one thing we've learned in our 7 years of existence, one thing we got convinced of is that everyone has got skills and talents to share. The issue is that when we think of skills, we think of the workplace, we think of the corporate sector. But we at Pro Bono Lab believe that these skills can also serve the common good by spreading outside the companies and therefore building a society where solutions can be co-created. So because we think that these skills should be not limited to the corporate sector and only serve performance, we work with companies to design engagement programs for their employees. We came to believe that when you provide time for an employee to give his skills to a non-profit organization, it has multiple benefits for this person, for his company, for the beneficiary, and for society as a whole. And these benefits are multiple, as I said, so the growth of one's skills, team building, development of leadership, the eagerness to engage in one's community, etc. So although we witness a real eagerness among companies to get involved in this type of programs, and this is absolutely fantastic, we also understand that these companies sometimes lack the knowledge and the tools to be able to design and implement these programs. And this is where we come, Pro Bono Lab and our fellow organizations around the world. We support companies. We play the intermediary role between the non-profit sector and the corporate sector. And we organize events to link these two worlds, which is exactly what happened last year in this very business district. We organized an event with 11 non-profit organizations from the territory and 110 corporate employees from La Défense were helping these NGOs on very specific issues, such as getting specifications for a new app, getting a communication strategy, getting a new business model. These are a few things that Pro Bono can help you do. So this is what we do in France, but the wonderful thing about Pro Bono is that it's an international movement. So Pro Bono Lab is part of a network called the Global Pro Bono Network, and now I would like to call my partners from overseas, so Julia from Spain and Yan from China, who will give you some insights from abroad.
Thank you very much, Tatiana. So my name is Julia, I come from Spain. The organization I work for, we have similar objectives to Pro Bono Lab. The aim of our organization is to empower people to take action into the social change. So what we do is to develop shared value projects for companies, for not-for-profit organizations, and also for public administrations. So for us it's quite important and we see in our daily life how the companies are doing a real impact and they are creating awareness into the people. So what I'm going to do is to share with you the story, a real story of an example of somebody that I meet. And it's a story that my colleagues probably, they all, also see in their daily lives. And it's the story of an employee. His name is Paco, and this is the story of Paco. He's an engineer. He works for a big company called Telefónica. It's a telecommunications company. And he had never done anything in his life. And suddenly one day he has his colleagues telling him, okay, we are going to do an activity, employee volunteering activity. Do you want to join? And he says, okay, I'm going with you. So the activity is it's an interview session for young people from the deprived areas that are looking for jobs. They don't have good opportunities, and this is just like a training for them to see how they can approach an interview, a real interview. So I met Paco before joining this session, and he was super nervous. He was extremely nervous because he was doing something he had never done in his life. He has very good hard skills, maybe doing engineering, but he never approached young people and doing interviews. So I met him, he was nervous. The young people, usually they are very nervous because they are in a building like this one. They have never been there before. But the employees sometimes are nervous because they never did this. So after the session, I met Paco again, and he was super motivated. He felt he has done something in his life different from the daily life, and he felt committed to do something else. So next time I met Paco, it was in another project that we ran with this company. What we do is we do like a call for proposals, so employees can say what they want to do with non-for-profit organizations. Then we choose some of the projects and we support the employees and the organizations to become these projects real, okay? So what happened during this time, it was like 1 year. Paco has been doing volunteering with this organization, and he realized that he had something else to give to this organization over a one-day activity. He realized that these young people, they have a lack of digital skills, and he has a lot of digital skills. So he proposed us a project buying some computers and developing some workshops for these young people. So this is just an example of how in 1 year this person had never done anything, and suddenly in 1 year he's leading his own projects. He's a change maker, he's a real change maker. And not only because of the commitment to the community, but also because of his skills. The first day he was extremely nervous, and now he's leading a project. So there is a development of his skills that is going to apply for this job. He's also leading this work with another colleagues. So he has done an engagement for his colleagues, and they are all doing this together on behalf of the company. So there is a huge development of skills, engagement to the company. And so when the people ask us if we are going to do one punctual activity and they say, is this going to have an impact in the society? We say, wow, we are not going to change the world, but maybe we are going to change some minds. So that's it.
Bonjour. I'm Yan Peng from China. I'm sorry I do not speak your beautiful language, but I hope the story I'm going to share with you will keep you smile. And I'm representing Beijing Pro Bono Foundation. This foundation is an innovation itself because it was the ever first philanthropy foundation which focused on pro bono plus social mission. And it was purely established by individual donations. The individuals are believer of pro bono, and they had made 2 commitments. First commitment is the $3,000 donation. And the second commitment is the 24 hours minimum per year. So this is how we established this foundation. It's a foundation of pro bono individuals. And why we want to do this? Why people want to do this one? And because in China, pro bono is nothing new. Many people are doing that, whether we call it pro bono or not. They're doing it. The challenge is scaling up. How do we scaling up this one so more people can join this mission? So what we decided is that we need to set up an infrastructure, social infrastructure, which can be used to inspire, amplify, and support the pro bono programs. So how do we support and how do we amplify? We set up a certification system which is based on standards. So therefore, all the hours are not manipulated hours, it's real hours. And also, we own the hours, so therefore we give them the certificate I will hours. So those hours are not only from our organization, it's for all pro bono activities come from any organization. So that's how do we amplify. And how do we inspire? So how do we do that? We actually asking 3 questions. Maybe you can check it yourself. The first question is about, as a successful professional, and what do you really care about social issues? Deeply in your heart, at midnight, you can ask yourself what exactly you care about. Then the second question is about what kind of skills, what kind of expertise you can contribute. So that's the second question. Really have a self-diagnosis. Find out what you are unique about it. Then the third question is, are you taking action or are you ready? So if all those questions are yes, then Pro Bono Foundation infrastructure is for them, and for me, and for you. And thank you for that.